Think Progress has a fascinating article on the revival of an old religion that's favored by white supremacists. So the majority of white supremacists in the U.S., as we already know, are Christian, but a rising number are turning to Odinism. They say, quote, on Monday, 3 Virginia men were charged with plotting to attack and bomb black churches and Jewish synagogues, reportedly with the goal of triggering a race war in the U.S. Documents show that they ascribe to a white supremacy extremist version of the Asatru faith. They say Odinism, sometimes called Asatru, Vanuatru, or Decitru, is a modern expression of an ancient polytheistic Nordic belief system that reveres a slew of gods such as Thor. Most of its U.S. adherents, many of whom self-identify as heathens, are nonviolent and inclusive, more concerned with preaching virtues than calling for a race war. Norse paganism, once the religion of Vikings, is currently undergoing a revival among young residents of Iceland, where it is recognized as a state religion. Yet an unsettlingly virulent strain of Odinism has coalesced in the U.S. over the past few decades, attracting white supremacists who see it as more purely white than Christianity. Okay, so they go on to explain that these guys believe that Christianity was essentially a trick played on the white man by Jews and blacks. I love the conspiratorial thinking. Like, black people and Jews got together many, many years ago, and they're like, all right, how do we trick the white man? And also, I never understood, okay, we're talking about many Jews are white, right? Almost all of them are white. So what does it mean when they're like, they're not white? They're Jews. Yeah, but they have white skin. I love it when people try to, like, they're literalists in their religion, in the sense of their religion, but then with other shit, they're the opposite of literalists. Like, if you point out, hey, that Jewish guy's white, they're like, he ain't white, he's a Jew. I don't get it. You make no sense, but why should I be surprised? These guys literally believe in Odinism. So, they think it's a trick, and the trick was to pacify the white man, because the white man obviously is superior. So, you have to find a way to get them to believe an ideology that pacifies them, and then eventually the Jews and the blacks take over. Aha! Gotcha! It's so silly. And what they're trying to do, these fundamentalists, are bring about an all-white future based off the superiority of the, quote, Germanic people. Stop me if this sounds familiar. And that's the point, is that the belief system it's a mix, clearly, but it's this neo-paganism / Odinism, where they believe that there was a previous time when the Aryan race ran the world, and they were in control of everything, and we reached the peak of our technological advancement, and there was harmony all throughout. And then ever since that time, there's been a downfall when the Jews got more powerful. Or 15 million of them left in the world? When blacks got more powerful, and then, oh my God, now the white man is living under the oppression of the blacks and the Jews and all the minorities. So they're just trying to bring back this golden age where the Aryan race reigns supreme. That is exactly what Hitler believed. And Nazi Germany, from like a religious perspective, is really interesting what happened there, because so the overwhelming majority of the people in Nazi Germany were Christian. Hitler, at times in his life, was Christian. The top Nazi officials were Christian at times in their life. So you had this weird mix of you had Christianity. You also had this new like state religion of Nazism, where Hitler is the demigod. But then you also had Himmler, who was Hitler's propaganda minister, tried to usher back in this exactly. This version of paganism, which believed in the Aryan race as being supreme. By the way, the Aryan race technically never existed. And that's why they tried to bring about, like, Hitler was obsessed with blonde hair, blue-eyed, white skin, get rid of the Jews, get rid of the gypsies, get rid of the blacks, get rid of everybody. He had a very rigid hierarchy of humanity where obviously the Germanic Aryan people were at the top with blonde hair, blue eyes, and all that stuff. And this new belief system that's gaining, a following in white supremacist circles mimics that of what was happening in Nazi Germany, where it was a weird mix of Christianity and paganism and occultism and just the god of Hitler, the demigod of Hitler, and this fascist religion, if you will. So it ain't a good look, dude. It ain't a good look. But the biggest takeaway from this is, guys, you can see now that people will believe anything. Like, you know what it is? We're just so used to Christianity and Islam and Buddhism and Hinduism that people, like, think nothing of it. But in reality, this is no more ridiculous than that. You know what I mean? Like, we just think because they've been around longer and we've known more about them in today's modern context that we just, okay, it is what it is, whatever. But, when you hear of something like this, like, ooh, we worship Thor, and we believe in Odinism and pagan gods, and that's what we're into, you can almost sense that Christians and Muslims are like, ha ha ha, so stupid, look at you with your fairy tales. Well, you believe in fairy tales too. It's just the case that, with this one, this is a version of fundamentalism that is particularly odious, but then again, Muslim fundamentalism is quite odious as well. The Christian fundamentalists are quite odious as well. Look at the KKK. So, nobody get on their high horse. And as they said here, like I mentioned, most people who believe in this religion it's the same thing with Christianity and Islam. Like, most people just whatever. They're just people doing whatever. They say the same thing for this. But the fundamentalist version, these neo-pagans who mixed it in with white supremacy, obviously they're a huge problem. But it's weird reporting on a story where we're learning about the revival of an older religion. And it's basically a Nazi-esque version of the older religion, where it's neo-paganism and occultism, and it's based on Germanic mythology of the Aryans and the Germanic people being the pure bloods, and we're the best, and everybody else is horrible. So keep an eye out for these people.